Rwanda suffered a genocide that killed about 1 million people in 100 days, making it the deadliest genocide per unit of time ever recorded in human history. Because the two countries are so linked, this apocalypse poured gasoline on Burundi's own civil war. The violence spiraled out of control along the border, and the Ruzizi River became a dumping ground once again, carrying more human bodies than at any point in its history. Gustav was around 50. The attack reports from this period are difficult to verify because tracking crocodile attacks during a civil war is obviously not people's main focus, but the testimonies Faye collected suggest his activity increased significantly through the 1990s, leading to the 300 we mentioned. Coincidentally, his highest concentration of kills runs from 1993 to 2003. During the worst periods, rangers recorded 3 deaths in a single week within a few miles of each other. That is unheard of for a single crocodile. The total over 20 years sits somewhere between 60 confirmed victims and 300 suspected, but the exact number is impossible to verify in a region with thousands of other crocodiles. These two beaches, Magara and Manago, are where most of his attacks happened. Locals come here every day to fish or wash clothes. Gustav has learned these new patterns over the course of decades. He positioned himself in the deeper water just offshore and launched from below, where the murky water makes him invisible until it's too late. Normal crocodiles are quiet predators. They run from noise and agitation, which means they avoid attacking when multiple humans are present. But Gustav goes after groups. Most of his victims are fishermen or women washing laundry. The scars we mentioned earlier shaped how he operates today. The shoulder wound probably affected his surface swimming, which would explain why almost all documented attacks came from underwater. The repeated trauma from bullets and spears also created an aggressive reaction to boat engines. Most crocodiles flee when they hear a motor approaching. Gustav has learned to associate that sound with humans, and instead of fleeing, he does the opposite. Rangers have documented attacks on boats that got too close to Gustav's hiding spots in the delta. At his age, crocodiles usually have damaged teeth from decades of crunching through turtle shells, fish scales, and heavy mammal bones. Old crocodiles often end up nearly toothless. But we now know that Gustav's teeth are almost perfect. Human flesh is soft, with no shells to crack and no thick hide to tear through. Gustav's perfect dentition at 60 years old confirms a diet that has been predominantly human for decades. Back to the team and the 60 days deadline. They finished building a 30-foot steel cage that had taken over a year to design. Moving it into position required something closer to a military logistics operation than a standard wildlife capture. Over 30 men were needed to lift it, and they had to travel 4.3 miles from their village to the delta. They placed it at a bend in the river identified as Gustav's territory and baited it with fresh meat.